Yo. Welcome to FKU Africa Podcast. This is your host here, Maneza F8, coming to you. I'm here in Worcester, man. Yeah, sorry, I'm not in Worcester now. I'm in Cape Town. I'm so used to being in Worcester, man. I'm always saying I'm in Worcester. Yeah, sorry, I'm in Cape Town at this moment. I'm staying this side now in the mother city here in South Africa. I'm giving shout outs to everyone who watches the podcast. We didn't have the episode last week. I visited Worcester, so I didn't have a chance to record. So I'm making up for that with this one. I hope you will enjoy this one because it's mainly all about trying to improve the standard of our living. We're trying to improve our lives. We're trying to improve South Africans' lives wherever they are, man. Because that it's not all about South Africa. We know that it's all about us all who are Africans, wherever you are in diaspora. I'm talking Africans in China. I'm talking Africans in England. I'm talking Africans in the Caribbeans, in USA, wherever you are. If you are an African, we're all trying to make things better for us as Africans, man. We've been part of being building blocks for other communities. We've been building blocks for other communities. We've been building blocks for many communities. Now it's time for us as Africans to look into building us as Africans. We cannot allow us to be used anymore. They used us enough during the times of our grandfathers and our great grandfathers. From the time that they cannot even tell up until now, thousands of years we've been used as Africans. Yeah, Africans used to strive before. Africans used to have a lot going on. They used to own a lot of things. They are. It's arguable that Africans actually had the first university, which was in Egypt. So that's something that I did read about, and I'm happy that it happened that way. But now, at this present moment, that doesn't give us any kind of uh, uh, wealth, any kind of what is the word I'm looking for? This doesn't give us any kind of advantage. We don't have any advantage just because we have the first university. Yes, one of the best universities are here in Africa. We have UCT in South Africa, which is the one of the best universities. People all over the world they come and study here. I'm talking people from Europe, people from China, America, South America, everywhere they come and study in UCT is one of the best. It can be compared with the likes of Oxford, with the likes of Harvard, Yale, Stanford, with the big ones. It's a big one. It's rated very high. If you graduated from that university, you get the job almost immediately. I know many people who graduated there. I know no one of them that is not working at this moment. So it's regarded as a highly educational, one of the best in the world. So we want to look into those things that we have as Africans, but having the best university in the country does not guarantee us as black people who are here in South Africa any sort of advantage. We don't get anything out of that because it's hard enough even to get in that university as a black person. It's hard enough to get in there. It's going to be hard to survive in there. We had so many stories of people being bullied in those kind of universities. The similar university that is that one, we have the University of Stellenbosch. That is one of the racist universities here in South Africa. That university is rated, I think it's number one. It's that university and the Free State University, also UCT. Those are the very racist university. UCT, yes, it's quite divisive now. It's got a lot of people from different backgrounds. It's allowing a lot of our black people to be around there. I know you are shocked if you're not from South Africa. You are shocked if I'm saying we are being allowed to be there as if it's a favor. Yes, that's what it is, man. That's what it is. There are places that we are still being allowed to get into those places. They're giving us a favor. There are towns that you not feel really ease to be there. Even here in Cape Town, if you go in certain places, you're not at ease. You can get shot by just being there. You're not at ease at all. And if you go into certain malls, you will see the way that they look at you. You will see that the way that they treat you, that you don't really belong. It's quite shocking, right? That you are a South African, you are an African, and there are places in Africa and in South Africa that you don't feel at ease at, and then there's nothing you can do about it. You can talk, yes. You can yell, yes. You can write a tweet, you can shout, but it is there. There's nothing we can really do about those things. There are places that when you go into, you don't feel at ease at all. People are following you. People are looking into the windows. You see, they just make you feel like you're a criminal. But this is our country, man. This is our country. We fought for this country. We were, we were, we have people that died to fight for this freedom, but we're still backing those people. Like how many South Africans who are black and nine white, and how many South Africans who are nine white, which I can call them South Africans because they are here in South Africa. Many of them they were born here, and many of them they will never go anywhere. Whatever I think or whatever I say, they will never go anywhere. They're gonna stay here and continue controlling us if we are not standing up to ourselves. What do I mean standing up? Standing up how? That's what I've been saying all along. I've been saying these things all along. I've been saying these things that as us as Africans, we really, really, really need to unite. We really, really need to unite and speak in one voice. There's nothing less. There's nothing more. We need to unite into a cause. If you're going to unite and say, now it's time for us as Africans to take over the mining industry, for example, which is still largely controlled by white people. If we can unite behind that cause that we're going to take over and distribute that among us, that cause is the cause that we can unite that, and we can find ways. Not going to fight anyone, not going to kill anyone. We will find ways to gain access to those mines and take control of those mines below, because they belong to us as Africans. Because you will find that all those people you can trace back to their forefathers. No one of them's got legitimate documents that says they bought this mine from anyone. They just push people out with guns and just took it. So we will just push people up as well with words. We'll talk, and if talking is not sufficient, we will find other ways of persuading those people to at least give us something that we can control. Man, if you have not yet subscribed to the podcast, please make sure that you subscribe to this podcast, FKU Africa Podcast. And also, I have another podcast that I'm doing with my brother Melly Mels, the God, Spola Namazo. So check that out and make sure that you do subscribe to that. The first episode is coming next Wednesday, which will be I think the 18th or the 19th. Let me just make sure we have next Wednesday. I think it's gonna be the 18th Wednesday, 19th. Yes, it's coming on the 19th. Make sure that you do get into that. We got Retex up in there. There are a number of guests that are coming, so please make sure that you check that out. Please subscribe. So let's get back to what we are talking about, man. My main uh, topic that I wanted to talk about today is to allude into the status of us as South Africans. We have a problem here of load shedding. This problem is coming now it's over 10 years that we've been facing this particular problem. Other than more other problems that we have and we are facing, but this one, it seems like now it's getting out of hands. So we need to make sure that somewhere, somehow, we find ways to make a plan to make sure that this thing doesn't go as far as it is going now. Because what I'm seeing now is that it's being made into a game. You know, when you have kids, you you give them something and reward them. You make them do something and you give them something. Make them do something and you give them something. And they will always remember that if I did something, my father will give me something. Even if it's just to give them a compliment, just give them a hug, you give them, let's say, some money, or you buy them something. As long as you give them something to do, they do it, and then you reward them. That's how it is. But now with our government, they are reversing psychology. They're doing a reverse psychology of that. They gave us this load shedding. At first, it was going to be something of 6 months, which was the power cuts for 2 hours. Sometimes it would happen 2 times a day in even hours from 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, up to 100, 12 midnight. So it will be 2 hours. They will say from 8 in the morning till 11:30. We know that until 10:30, we know that it's going to be 2 hours in between that. So this is how the power cuts started to happen 10 years back, over 10 years back, I think. So at that time, we had the problem. They were saying that they are building the Mutupi power, which is in Mpumalanga, which is the power plant where they're going to produce more electricity with coal. And they had another plant which is in Johannesburg and another plant which is, I think, in Free State. So the plant that was supposed to be the one that is going to sustain us and get us out of this load shedding is the one that it's in Pumalang, which is Mutupi. I think the plant was finished, and then others started to broke. That was the case. So this thing happened. It would die down for a few months, and we forget about it. We're living life, nice time. Out of nowhere, power cuts, and this thing is going to take us a month or two. You get a schedule. Now we got apps that are connected to ESCOM, which ESCOM is the company that is a state-owned company that is giving us this power. So we've got apps now that are giving us almost, but precisely, I would say they're 90% correct. Most of the time, they are correct. So we get these apps now. It's part of your day. Now in the morning, you look at the app. What time is your schedule? So you start to plan your day according to that. So somehow you get 2 hours of no power. So this thing is troubling for people who have small businesses. This thing is troubling for people who are working from home. This thing is troubling for people who are getting paid per hour. And also, this thing is troubling for investors, for people who depend on investors on their businesses. Because if the power is going to keep continue doing this, and other businesses are going to slow down in production, and the investors are going to start losing money. So this thing, it's been happening as I was saying. So now, what I've been noticing is that whenever we are getting close to elections and national government elections, where we're going to get a new president, the power cuts will be really, really, really. Uh, they will be aggressive, man. They will go to stage 6, stage 4. They will be aggressive. And now these things are, if you look into it, you would say, yes, of course, that can't say anything, because that those power plants are, and those people who are controlling this power are being controlled by the government. But now we forget that past in the past 10 years, the um, national government is not being controlled by ANC anymore. It's being split into too many coalitions that are around South Africa. With that being said, the power cuts are happening in the municipality levels. There are many, many, many municipalities who are not controlled by ANC. So the power cuts, yes, are because of the Mutubi power, which is controlled by ESCOM. ESCOM was controlled by ANC, so that's the baby of ANC. But the power outages, when they start saying stage 2, stage what, the people who are in different parties, they start to capitalize on that and make sure that the power cuts go as much as they go, just because they want to fight amongst each other. So now it's time for us as South Africans to gather together. We have the power of making sure that we get rid of this load shedding. It's time for us to gather together and make up our minds. ANC has been in charge for more than, who knows, more than 25 years now, going to 30 years. They've they haven't done anything. They haven't done anything as yet. It's deteriorating. The roads out there are a mess, potholes everywhere. The schools, there's no progress. There are still kids who are going to school under the big trees. The clinics, they are nowhere being run properly. The hospitals, they are in shambles. You get situations where there's no medications for people, and you get in situations where there's not even food for patients in the hospitals, in these government hospitals. So now you ask yourself, is it not now the time for us as South Africans to change the political party that is now ANC, to give another political party a chance? I will not say which one you should go to, but for us to go forward, for us to at least have a chance to at least have a chance of competing with other countries on making sure that we get rid of this stupid load shedding and stupid lack of infrastructure, which with the money that we have, all the money is going into their pockets. We need to stand up and make sure that we vote people in power who are not as hungry as these people who qualifies to be there, people who are still young, people who got a vision to take us a little further than where we are, people who's going to make sure that uh, a black person, yeah, in South Africa is being given the first preference, because a black person here in South Africa is the majority of the people who are here. And most of the other people are already in the good positions. If I'm saying black person, I'm not saying excluding colors. Colors are black, according to my books, colors are black people. Colors are one of us. We are having the same issues: gangs, drugs, potholes, lack of schooling, bad clinics, bad hospitals. That's all of our problems, black people and coloreds. So I don't even say uh, call them coloreds. I just call them Africans. We are all Africans in that regard. So we need to unite behind a party that's got our visions. Now you need to understand, when you vote, you need to understand what are the policies. Because one of the issues that we have here in South Africa is the crime. The crime levels are very high. So, what are we doing about that? How are we combating crime? How are we making sure that we intensifying uh, people who are in jail? We are intensifying the jail systems. We are intensifying the justice system. We are intensifying the combating of drugs, because they are leading us to where we are in terms of crime. Johannesburg is the capital of hijacking, and Cape Town is the capital of murder in South Africa. And so we're starting now to have different crimes that we're not even used to. We're starting to have crimes like kidnapping that we never heard of, just seeing the TVs. Uh, Situation that happened in Krugersdorp, where people who were filming through, that includes ladies who were getting raped by more than 50 guys who were doing illegal mining, which that is part of a crime. So we need to look into the policies of the parties that we are voting for. Instead of just voting just because someone is speaking nicely on Twitter, or someone is from your tribe, or someone is loved by your family, or see, they are so-called the fighters of liberations. We cannot vote like that anymore. Now it's time to come back to reality and make sure that we vote for the right people, for the betterness or the betterning of South Africa, which is the country that we love. I thank you. Figure yawa undani ndugu. Don't forget to subscribe. Check all the podcasts on where you get your podcast at. My music is on manezafa.co.za, stroke music, or stroke my shop, or just Maneza FA. You're gonna search for music. It's there. Love you guys. Bye.